Training camp is officially underway across the entire NFL, and nowhere is the vibe check more fascinating than right here in the NFC East. 4 teams, 4 wildly different stories, and one division that could genuinely decide the entire NFC picture this season. Let's break down exactly where the Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, and Eagles all stand heading into 2026. Start in New York, because there might not be a more dramatic turnaround story and vibes anywhere in this league. The Giants enter this season with a brand new head coach in John Harbaugh, and the energy inside that building has completely transformed. This roster is not necessarily the most talented in the division on paper, but it is miles ahead of where this fan base has grown used to over the past several years, with genuine, real competition stretching across the entire depth chart from top to bottom. That kind of internal competition tends to breed better overall results, because whoever ultimately wins each individual battle is doing so by actually beating out real competition, not simply inheriting a job by default. A huge part of that early excitement centers on the rookie class. Linebacker Arvell Reese, the 5th overall pick in this year's draft, has been making real, consistent noise throughout the opening stretch of camp, showing an early impact that some believe already rivals what fellow rookie Abdul Carter provided during his own debut summer a year ago. Reese was widely viewed as more of a natural edge-rushing prospect coming out of college, but this coaching staff plans to deploy him as a weak-side linebacker alongside veteran Tremaine Edmunds, while still finding ways to move him around and let his natural versatility shine. Rookie receiver Malachi Fields, the 3rd-round pick this front office traded up to acquire, has also turned heads early, reportedly hauling in an impressive contested catch that had people buzzing. Quarterback Jackson Dart has had a genuinely up-and-down summer working through his 2nd full offensive install in as many years, but that inconsistency actually says something encouraging about the other side of the ball. If this defense is playing well enough to consistently make life difficult on its own starting quarterback in practice, that unit is probably further along than most outside evaluators expected heading into the season. And do not sleep on Abdul Carter himself, who is coming off a rookie season that saw him rack up real defensive stops and pressure numbers league-wide, and who appears to have carried real momentum from the back half of last season directly into this camp. Overall, this fan base is not talking themselves into anything here. The team genuinely looks and plays like a real football team again, and for a fan base that has not had much to hang its hat on recently, that alone is a massive step in the right direction. Now let's head to Washington, where the entire conversation begins and ends with one single player, quarterback Jayden Daniels. After a rookie season many considered one of the best debut campaigns this league has ever seen, followed by an injury-ravaged sophomore slump that made this fan base nearly forget how special he actually is. Daniels is back and healthy heading into a completely retooled offense. Gone is the previous, more simplified offensive approach. In its place is a genuine, full-scale NFL West Coast system, and by every account, the ball is coming out of Daniels' hand differently than it ever has before. Both this offensive coordinator and the new defensive coordinator are first-time play callers at this level, which admittedly carries some real risk, but the sheer creativity already on display has this fan base genuinely excited. The new defensive scheme in particular represents a dramatic philosophical shift for an organization that has historically run one of the more conservative, predictable defenses in this league. This coaching staff aggressively pursued proven difference makers to fuel that new aggression too, adding pass rushers and adding real speed and length at linebacker and safety. There remain real, legitimate question marks in the secondary, particularly with one former high-round cornerback still working his way back from injury. But a genuinely exciting veteran cornerback addition already looks like one of the best defensive backs on this entire roster. Offensively, receiver Terry McLaurin is finally set to receive the target, share his status as a true number 1 receiver deserves, and a promising rookie tight end who can genuinely threaten defenses after the catch gives this passing attack a dimension it has lacked in recent years. The expectation from this fan base is simple and direct. Daniels needs to return to that electric rookie-year form, and given the drastically improved supporting cast now surrounding him, there is real belief he could end up playing even better than that debut season, especially with the first 2 games of this season coming on the road against fellow NFC East rivals, meaning slow starts simply are not an option this time around. Shifting over to Dallas, and the story here might be the most refreshing of all 4 teams, mostly because there genuinely is no chaotic storyline to obsess over. After an entire offseason last year dominated by contentious, drawn-out contract drama, this Cowboys camp has been almost eerily peaceful by comparison. The one potential distraction. Receiver George Pickens working under the franchise tag resolved itself smoothly, with Pickens fully bought in, participating throughout the offseason program, and reportedly playing at a genuinely high level early in camp. With CeeDee Lamb back at full health after missing time last season, and tight end Jake Ferguson looking noticeably leaner heading into this year. This passing attack already projects as one of the more explosive units in this entire league. But the real transformation appears to be happening on the defensive side of the ball. New defensive coordinator Christian Parker, part of a coaching tree connected to respected defensive mind Brian Flores, has reportedly sparked real, tangible energy within this unit. This front office matched that coaching investment with real roster investment too, adding proven veteran interior defensive linemen, adding real experienced depth at safety, and using premium draft capital on a genuinely electric rookie safety who has already drawn real praise for playing with veteran-level composure and instincts despite being just weeks into his professional career. There is a real belief that between a fully healthy linebacker core and a promising rookie linebacker flashing real athletic upside, this defense is going to look drastically different from the unit that struggled significantly a season ago. And with quarterback Dak Prescott entering the season with his game fully intact and this coaching staff finally building real continuity on both sides of the ball, there is a genuine growing belief that this Cowboys team could be one of the more dangerous, complete rosters in the entire conference this season, provided that defensive improvement actually translates from camp to real game action. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia, where the defending recent Super Bowl pedigree collides with a genuinely unsettled offseason. This roster lost star receiver A.J. Brown, adding a new veteran presence at the position in his place, and it enters this season working with an entirely new offensive coordinator once again, continuing a pattern of offensive continuity turnover that has become a real recurring theme under this coaching staff in recent years. Early returns on that new offensive install remain genuinely difficult to fully evaluate since new coordinators are notoriously hard to judge purely off training camp reps rather than live competitive game action. What can be evaluated, though, is the players' actual response to the new system, and by every indication, the feedback has been considerably more positive than it was during a rocky introduction to the previous coordinator a year ago, with offensive linemen specifically praising a scheme that already feels less predictable and allows them to play with more speed. The offensive line itself also looks considerably healthier than it did for most of last season, aided by a promising rookie tackle out of Miami who has already earned real first-team reps and drawn some genuinely lofty early comparisons. On defense, this unit continues looking every bit as disruptive as it has in recent memory, with several core defensive standouts already flashing at a high level early in camp. The far bigger storyline, though, surrounds quarterback Jalen Hurts, who enters this season on the outside of the league's true top-tier quarterback conversation, according to several recent public rankings. A genuinely surprising development for a player who has delivered at the highest possible level on the biggest stages this league has to offer. The honest, fair evaluation here is that there is simply not enough information yet to draw any real conclusions, given the combination of a new offensive coordinator, a retooled receiver room, and a full month still remaining before the first snap that actually counts. What we do know is that Hurts remains a genuine winner and a proven champion. And that label does not simply disappear over one off-season of outside noise and speculation. So where does that leave this division heading toward the season opener? A Giants team playing with more genuine confidence and depth than this fan base has felt in years. A Commanders team banking everything on a healthy, motivated version of one of this league's most electric young quarterbacks. A Cowboys team quietly building real continuity on both sides of the ball after years of off-season chaos. And an Eagles team working through real transition while still carrying championship-level talent across most of its roster. Add it all together, and this division sets up to be one of the most competitive, closely contested races anywhere in this league this season. So let me know down in the comments. Which of these four NFC East teams do you believe is genuinely best positioned heading into the 2026 season, and which storyline are you personally most excited to watch develop as the preseason gets underway? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more training camp coverage all season long. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next one.